Three, two.
Welcome back to Good. I'm Mel.
Episode 3. I'm Marissa, Mar, whatever you want to call me. By the way,
Yes.
I only have two people that call me Mar, and it's you
Well,
and
that's
Meg.
why I was like, I don't know if I introduced you as Mar
I think it's perfect.
because
I think I'm Mar here. We're gonna
hey,
like get this nickname to stick with everybody.
hey, I'm good with that. I mean, because that's what I call you. So
I respond to it. I
I,
love it.
that's what I mean. It's funny. People, so my mom hates that I go by Mel. I don't know if she hates it. That's a really strong word. But she really dislikes it because she says, I named you Melissa for a reason.
That's how my mom
And so
feels
it's
about
really,
my sister's name, Elizabeth, when all of us call her Liz, and she hates that name because she associates them with people she judged as slutty in high school. And she's just like, it gets so under her skin. It's so
that's
funny. You're like,
funny.
but she's a Liz and she's not a slut, but sorry, mom.
Sorry.
I don't
And
know
so
why
my
moms
mom,
are like that. No, why?
well, I mean, I guess I get it, but like I named my daughter Amelia and I wanted to call her Mia. Like that was the plan. And now she doesn't want to be called Mia. She has an opinion and wants to be called Mia or Amelia. So it's a whole thing. But all right.
It's
Well,
like
if you are
it's like
if you are
opposite
joining us,
generations, the same, like
I'm
it's like whatever, who knows?
wild. So wild. But if you are joining us for episode 3, we or hopefully you watched episode 2, where we kind of talked about values and why they're important and um, how we got there, how we kind of, Mara and I kind of started on this journey of values, mindset, what that looks like. So go back and listen if you haven't already. But today we're going to jump into our personal values, which I am pumped about because I have kind of reached a place where I feel really settled in my values at this point, and I really feel like that I'm living them in a way that is actionable. So I'm excited to share them. Hello. Speaking of my daughter, she just got home. Hi.
Hi, Amelia. Not Mia.
And this is Amelia. Oh, there she is. Say hi. 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 All right. Do you want to go first? You want to go first?
You go first.
Okay. So this is something that I developed through that book, Compass a lot, the Compass Within that we just talked about. Hi, here's the furry sister. No, you don't want to come up and go say hi to sister. Um, the Compass Within. Like I said, I've always kind of known my values, kind of had those lined out. Um, but it's a book that really helps you make them definable to you and actionable. So I have two, and that's the other thing it talks about, that is that you're probably going to have no more than like 3 to 5, and 5 is really pushing it. 5 is really a lot. And there's a high likelihood that you have between 2 to 3 when you really dig into them. So as I went through the process outlined in that book, I determined that I have 2 core values, and they are hierarchy. Meaning, then Mar talked about that in the last episode, that values do have hierarchy, and they do matter in which order you put them. So my 2 are valued aligned stewardship. That is my first one, and my second value is growth through psychological safety. So those are my 2 core values. I do have, and I use chat to do this and kind of go through this process and help me like analyze these. So kind of analyze my values and what's important to me. And it talked me through a lot of it. So I define valued aligned stewardship as that I am responsible for people's systems and outcomes in a way that are consistent and transparent and values driven. Influence must be earned through integrity, meaning that you're going to show up and be who you say you are, trust and care. It's never extracted through control, ego, or authority. So it kind of sets those boundaries and sets those bookends to like, this is what it is and this is what it's not. So when people are acting out of authority or out of ego, that feels very out of alignment for me. And I will, like, not today, Satan. Like, kind of situation. Like it will, there's very few things in this world that like fire me up. And you won't see it on the outside from me very often. I've worked really hard on that. Like I've worked really hard on, not, I don't want to say quieting that side of me, but like,
Self-control.
yeah, exactly. Self-control. And so, I lead through consistency, which is huge. Chris Crosby, the guy I have another podcast with, he says that that's my superpower. So like showing up and all, like just always being there. Yeah. I basically, I make almost, I make almost all my decisions through the lens of my values. Like that's something that it's important to me. Um, I really have a hard time engaging with people that are like performing, or they're being, they say they're showing integrity and it's in more of like a performance based way. Like I really, that makes, it feels
That's
very icky to
it.
me.
It's so ick. It's so ick.
It feels very icky to me. And I will always choose impact and the way that I show up for people and the people, like the impact that I have on people is just, it's something that I truly, truly value. So that's my first one. My second one, growth through psychological safety, um, is that I believe that growth happens for myself and others when they feel safe, um, to be curious, honest, and imperfect. Like I don't like failure is encouraged. That I want to build within myself a capacity for autonomy, meaning that I can act and have discernment in my decision making, forward motion, um, and seeing failure as data, um, and using questions to pull learning out of myself and others, and that people are trusted. And I am trusted to rise. Like that's the expectation. The only expectation is that whatever happens, we're going to grow from it. Like that's my second one. So
I love that.
always, yeah, always asking, never telling. I create safe spaces for people. I don't ever demand performance. um, I really want to build people to function without me. Like it's my goal in life that I give my kids everything that they need, so when I'm gone, because that is a reality and will happen, they are fully functioning adults that are happy and capable and exist in a world that is not easy to live in, but they are thriving. And so that's something that's really important to me. I really have a hard time with stagnation. I was talking about that earlier today with another friend. People that act out of fear-based control and fixed thinking, like people that are not of growth mindset. So that's mine in a nutshell. You want to come up and say hi? What's yours, Mar?
Yes. So, my core, I actually have three. And just for listeners, The Compass Within, I highly recommend reading it. And there's like a process that the main character goes through, and they even kind of talk about is there's just like you put all these words that matter to you, and we condense it and condense it and condense it because a lot of the words kind of actually are umbrellaed by like main ones. And that's why even if you think you have like five, it's really probably two or three because they all kind of get encompassed.
Yeah.
So these
When
are
you start
not
talking about them, you realize that,
this is
like
the heart
these,
of it. Yeah.
yeah.
It's getting
Mhm.
to the core. And yes, all those other things still matter and they're very important. But it's just kind of like really hashing it out and narrowing it down. So when you really break down on all of mine, they come down to excellence, integrity, and purposeful impact. So it's like I live with excellence, grounded in integrity, and I'm driven by purposeful impact. So it's kind of funny. Like you'll see a lot of stuff that Mel and I have in common, and a lot of people you relate to the most have similar values. They don't always have to have the same, but they can be complementary. So
Yeah.
like yours with safety is actually really complementary to some of mine, because you have allowed me some of that safe place to celebrate my wins, even if I don't think they're like big enough wins in the realm of like competitiveness, or even my standards of excellence. And so like we've created, I think, a space that's very complementary and a lot aligns. Um, and then like where it aligns with your partners, you should have a lot of the same trajectory. They don't all have to be the exact same, but they should really complement each other or be the same type of like anchors or like um same direction. Right? That's kind of like what the book talks
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you want to have a lot of Venn diagrams. Like if you think about like Venn diagrams of people,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be the same, but you
Mhm.
want to have some of those overlapping things. Because you want to be able to help each other
Yeah.
grow, right? And so you don't want to be the exact same, but you want to have a lot of core things. And I think there are things that, like I was talking about, there are things that pull you and there are things that push you. And so you want to be pulled in, not pushed away. And so you have to be really cognizant of like what does what to you. And so if you're aware of that, but I mean, but the key word there is awareness,
Yeah.
right? It's like if you have no idea, then how would you know? Like I know that seems like elementary, right? It's like, but that's the truth. Like it's I think a lot most people are out here, and this is what blows my mind. Like I go to and I say this in the kindest way. Most people are out here just like floating in space.
We call them drifters.
And I
That's
go to
another bit of
Walmart.
language that's from another book I read recently, but
I go to Walmart and I'm like,
we're
what?
NPCs, non-playing characters, right? From video
That's
games.
a good one. I love that. I'm gonna tell Chris Crosby about that one.
Yeah.
Non-playing characters. Yeah, that's what it feels like. And I I'm sad. It makes me sad if I really like spend any time thinking about it because like there's just so many incredible humans out in the world and there are so many people that are drifting
Yeah.
and are non-playing characters and what could the world be if everybody knew who they were or at least were working for it.
I think that's kind of the whole waking up thing, right?
Yeah, like waking up out of the matrix.
Yeah, yeah, it's like I don't know. It's
I,
it gives me kind of weird chills to like talk about this, but
I know.
yeah, it's but you have to have awareness and language and then being present. You have to find this information sometimes or like seek it
And
out. Or like I
that's what
think parenting really has a lot to do with it because you shared a lot about a value-driven family, and that's kind of where I grew up too.
yeah.
Um, and I think that that intention from our parents really does mean a lot. And I think you as a parent doing that, like for your kids, I think it's just it's massive, you know. Um, and so for those who maybe didn't have that type of upbringing, like, and if you're seeking out podcasts like this and other ones that help you pursue growth and like surrounding yourself with people that are also pursuing that, like it's just so important.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it really is.
but I'm also going to circle back too because it's like it's interesting. Mine was integrity and not authenticity, which I think going into I would have thought was more authenticity than integrity. But then when I really do like look at it, it's kind of interesting on awareness because I even have issues if I have any type of misalignment with like my words not matching my actions. I have like panic and I think it causes some of my ADHD loops to like have problems. Like if something is being said by like when I was in gym ownership or other things and it's like I had to make sure like everything lined up to its core. Like
Mm.
if I could, and I think that's what's so interesting too, me being even as a salesperson, like I try to be so careful on all my words because I don't want to manipulate. I don't want to do anything like short-sighted that doesn't like that if someone did some digging, they would like find
Yeah.
later or
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. Mm-mm.
and I'm human. I'm imperfect. I make mistakes. In fact, I actually realized that Honey Badger was not my first individual competition. And
Oh yeah. And we talked about that in the first
and I
episode.
remembered it and I was like, oh my gosh, like I like thought about it later and I'd actually done an RX individual at a local comp. There wasn't an intermediate division. It was either scaled or RX and it was more like kind of local RX. So similar standards, but it was
Yeah.
like, oh shoot, I did that one and I forgot. And I just got my timelines confused. So here's my integrity correcting misinformation. But that type of stuff like literally eats at me until I can like make it right or square it away with person. And I'm probably like too honest or like an open book. And it's great because it helps me build authentic relationships. But then sometimes it's like
Mm.
I get caught down some like trails that maybe don't matter to people as well, but it's like it matters to me, like because it's such a huge core value. And it's like stuff that doesn't bother someone else like completely like can eat away at me, which is crazy. And then other stuff like I'm sure that I should be noticing or other people value, like sometimes I like totally miss um the mark, but that one's huge for me and even the way I communicate. And I think it's been part of what makes me a great salesperson, but also maybe in some ways maybe holds me back because I just try to line up too much. And I think the highest salespeople do have integrity. I'm not
Yeah.
saying so. It's just like there are some things that I have to like really get down to my core and believe before I can really
Yeah.
start um like presenting or even peer pressuring somebody else to do it or whatever you want to call it, influencing. Um,
Influence. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that. And like I also understand like my excellence. I just have a really high standard for myself. Um, and that has good parts and bad parts to it. And then like my purposeful impact. And I think that's where we have a lot of overlap. And I think one reason we drive so well because um we want to ultimately like lead and coach and have intention behind what we do and build things that matter. Like that's your stewardship part too. Like it's
Yeah.
um but purposeful impact kind of came up for both of us. Um
Hmm.
and then that's one reason we're doing this podcast. If it impacts one person, great. If it impacts a lot of people, even better.
Yeah. Right.
But that just is that's why this podcast I think lines up so well for both of us is it helps us continue that mission. So
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think that for me, it's definitely been a journey to get here, and um, I think the more I dig into it, the more I realize that these things have defined my life, my whole life. Um, I can clearly, it's like putting on glasses for the first time. Like all of a sudden you can see, like look back. I know hindsight is 2020, but like I can look back on my life and see really clearly when I was and when I wasn't living in my values.
yeah.
Like, and I didn't even know what they were then, like to the extent I know them now. And so I think that's a really cool thing. And I journal every day. I use a 5-year journal. So I've journaled in the same journal for the last 5 years. This is my 5th year in this journal. And
Wow.
it's only like a little blurb. So it's like very small. And so when I was learning to journal, because it was a practice that I had to learn, um, and I've missed days and all things like that. But when I was learning and using that habit and getting reps of that, I learned that just that small piece was really important. But as I've looked back, like I can start to see patterns in my life.
Wow.
And it's really been interesting. Like this time of year in particular is a time of year where I have the tendency to make some changes. Like that's pretty normal for me. Like literally this week, every other
I
year or
went
so.
through a conspiracy theory that's not really a conspiracy theory, which is just a
Wild.
bomb. So
Yeah.
April 1st actually used to be the new year.
Oh, really?
And it was
Interesting.
13-month calendars and 28-day cycles, which, oh, that's the moon. That's our bodies as women. Anyways, it's the whole thing.
A
So I think it's a
topic for
very,
another podcast.
yeah, it's a whole natural thing. And even like spring and like renewal and all these things, but like it's a very natural like circadian rhythm that you are actually in line with on that. That's all I
Yeah.
say that to say, but it's also fun to just drop some rabbit holes.
Yeah. So, but
But
it's cool to like look back and to see those things and to be able to look back and like at this time I was living in my values, and at this time I was not
right.
living in my values. And you can even go back and like read the language that I used, and like the language that I was using was clearly in alignment or not in alignment. And
Wow.
that's wild stuff. And it's
So
just been one, I feel so blessed and honored that I have woken up out of the matrix enough to be able to see it. Um, and it just makes me hungrier to
yeah.
teach it to other people, like
Yeah,
to give to
added
give other
so
people
much
the skills.
value to our lives because it's like the sooner you realize you're off the trajectory, the sooner you can get back on it. And it
Yes.
ultimately leads to a way more fulfilling life and a life of purpose and direction and where you want to go. And that's truly like happiness is like found in the fulfillment and progress and living in alignment with those things.
Yeah.
Um, and
And
then,
when things shift, it makes those transitions smoother,
yeah.
right? Because you're able to identify what is and what is not a true violation of value.
Mhm.
And it can sometimes even save you from making a decision that maybe cause you to be out of alignment with your values for whatever reason. And that's why the hierarchy is so important.
Yeah.
Um, that's why exploring these things is so important, because it's not going to do anything but add value to you and the people around you. Um, and I think, but that again, me even saying that out loud speaks directly to my values. Like, like I value people that are not in a fixed mindset and are ready to grow. Like, I mean, it's just like it's wild once you kind of like go down this rabbit hole. Like you can really start to see these things impact and how they've shaped you into who you are.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I think that's a good spot to end on unless you have anything else
No,
to
I think I
for
knew I have
me.
a very sleepy puppy
Yes. Oh my
that
God.
has decided to jump on my lap. So we got a puppy last week, and she is just the best little girl. She's a little much, a little Heinz 57, but we think that maybe some German Shepherd, um, maybe some like I think it's like a Nikita or something, kind of foxy. She got a real foxy little nose, but definitely got some shepherd in her. But she's just the sweetest little thing. She's been out playing with, we have a big dog too, in our backyard for most of the afternoon. So she is tired. It's like they're babies, man. Like she just crawled up here on my lap and she's like just completely snoozing, just cracking me up. So
So what's her name for the world?
Ahsoka. We went with Star Wars.
I love
So,
that so
so
much. That's one of my favorite characters too.
yeah.
Ahsoka. That's
Yep.
I took a quiz once and they said I was Ahsoka of all the
Yep.
characters.
Yeah, she's a pretty cool character. If you don't know who she is, you should go look her up.
Yeah.
She's fierce and um but also just loyal and just cares about people. And um so yeah,
Great
we,
name
we're
for a
we're
puppy.
slowly introducing our kids into the Star Wars world, slowly but surely. And so we were watching some episodes of Clone Wars, and so that was
Well,
kind of hot on their brain. So Ahsoka she is.
that's awesome. And what a great name for a pup. She's
Yeah.
cute. German Shepherds are now my favorite.
Well, I mean, yours is a pretty great shepherd, so
Yeah, Miles is awesome.
Miles is a great dog. So we love some Miles. So all right, Mara. Well, this has been great,
Yeah,
man. I love this.
this
This is
is
a great
fun.
conversation. I think next week we're thinking about diving into some nutrition stuff. So
Oh.
stay tuned for a little variety.
Hmm.
And we're gonna get some mindset, hit some nutrition. But till next week, my friends, this is Mel.
And more.
And we are good.
Good humans, good talks.
Good.
Hey,
There you
that
go.
was our best exit yet.
It was. It was good.